So your first inspiration from wanting to become a pilot and then an astronaut, what was it?
The moon landing, straight and simple. Well, really, it was science fiction. I loved reading science fiction and comic books and Star Trek on television and A Space Odyssey in the movie theaters. Those all just, exploded my little kid's mind. But it was the reality of the race to the moon and then the first couple of people stepping onto the moon that linked my dreams and my science fiction dreams to the reality of choices I could make with my own life. And then I prepared for 25 years and finally got selected as an astronaut. And as you mentioned at the outset, flew in space 3 times, flew space shuttle twice, and I was the pilot of a Russian ship and built 2 space stations and commanded a spaceship. So it's amazing where life can lead when your childhood dreams get linked to reality.
Amazing. So it wasn't Space 1999 or Star Trek. They weren't them. But, Captain Kirk, he went to the edge of space in that... what do you make of the old space tourism idea?
Well, I know Bill Shatner, and I was talking to him before and after. I think maybe what everyone should make of it is they should just listen to what Bill said for the 3 minutes after he got back. The perspective shift that even a 90-year-old could feel for seeing our world for real for the first time. I mean, he said, he was just gobsmacked with the reality of the thinness of our atmosphere and the delicacy of our quality of life. And he said, I hope I never get over this. And I know that feeling so well, having flown in space 3 times and spent half a year off the planet. And so I think we have to regulate it properly, and the technology is still new, sort of like airplanes 100 years ago. But I think it's a really important perspective for humanity, as is cheaper access to space just for space commerce and all the things that we use outer space for to improve our quality of lives.
And for you, you flew into space, so 1995. What was that like in your experience? What did it feel like? And, if you could take yourself back to that, what was going through your mind?
It was everything I dreamed of, and it turned out to be better than I dreamed, Nana. It was amazing. But the actual rocket ride is overpowering. The amount of just raw brute force that the space shuttle generated. But the beautiful thing is it only takes about 9 minutes of enormous risk, and then you are liberated and you are suddenly free and weightless and coasting around the world indefinitely. And the first thing you see when you unstrap out of your seat and get to the window, because we launch up the coast of America and around off the coast of Canada and cross the North Atlantic, the first thing you see is Ireland and Great Britain, and then the Brittany coast right there. And it's just so overwhelmingly beautiful and informative and instructive to suddenly see so much of the world and be going around it every 90 minutes. It's beyond magnificent, and it's so educational, and it teaches us so much about our planet. But just from a personal level, it's so beautiful and mind opening. Rather than just moving to Canada, you should get a space flight if you possibly can.
Oh God, no! Those things. Well, it feels like there'd be nothing to do up there. What did you do up there for those? You were up there for quite some time, or you're even on a space station. I mean, what goes on up there when you're there?
When you're on a space station and you look down at the world, you think, what are all those people doing down there? There can't be much to do down there. We're up here running 200 experiments and going around the world every 92 minutes and, exploring the rest of the universe and pushing human capacity right to its limits, trying to understand what the dark matter and dark energy are made of, and understanding the change of the health of our world over time, because we go around it 16 times a day, and looking at fundamental fluid physics. How does flame work with where heat doesn't rise, and fluids behavior, and then testing spaceships so that we're enabling exploration going out further. I worked 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for my entire 6 months in space, and loved every second of it. Life on Earth is much more quiescent and simple.